Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
So, welcome to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam discussions in 2025. So, we will continue the pastime of the Brāhmaṇas wives, Brahman Patnis. Okay, so let us start with Mangalacharan prayers. I will show it on the screen. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Okay, now let us recite the invocation verses for Srimad Bhagavatam. So we'll use this. Offer our respects to Sri Shukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, and Sri Suta Goswami and Shaunakadi Rishis. And you can recite after me if you would, if possible. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiraet
Tato Jayamudirayet.
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtuprayesha Vadreshu.
Tyam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhavati Naishtiki
Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya.
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha.
Nandagopakumaraya
Nandagopakumaraya.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Right, wonderful. So we will resume from where we left off. We covered till verse number 17 last time. So we are taking it very slowly and very, I would say, deeply enough. There is no depth to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. It's infinitely deep, but as much as possible through ācāryas' commentaries. So let us continue. So where we had left off, basically, the Brahmanas had rejected to give any food to the Gopas. And so Lord Krishna fully expected that. That was his plan. His plan was to give blessings or give his love, fulfill the long time desire of the wives, the Brahmana Patnis, also known as Yajna Patnis. So they were the Yajna Patnis. The Brahmanas were supposed to be the Yajna, the wise ones, but they were basically ayagya or agya. They were the foolish ones. So his plan was working perfectly, and he sent the Gopas back to ask for food from the Brahman Patnis. The Brahman Patnis were sitting in their homes, and when they heard that Krishna is hungry and would like some food, they became so happy. So the Gopas go and announce themselves to the Brahman Patnis. That's what happens. And let us see now the reaction of the Brahman Patnis on hearing this request from the Gopas. So very important verses are coming up. So let us relish those. So we will look at the verses and we will okay. I hope you can see this. So yeah, the last verse that we had read was, he has come a long way. So the Gopas are announcing, with the cowherd boys and Lord Balaram tending the cows. Now he is hungry, so some food should be given for him and his companions. Now let us look at the 18th verse. Okay. So here we are. Shrutva achyutam upayatam nityam taddarshano utsukah tat katha kshiptah manaso bhuvurjata sambhrama. So let us understand every part of this verse. So achyuta, shrutva, on hearing. Oops. So Shrutva Achyutam. So on hearing from the Gopas that Achyuta, Krishna, is nearby, is Upayatam means nearby. So on hearing this, that Krishna is nearby, then we'll go to the last line. They became Babhuvur Jata Sambhrama. So we must understand this thing, Jata Sambhrama. It's a very important word. The English meaning is excited. They became. So Babhuvur means they became very excited. Okay, now excited kind of conveys the meaning a little bit, but we have to understand the depth of this meaning. So how do you get so excited? This excited kind of, in my opinion, personally, there is a lot behind this verse, this word. Okay, so let us see now the between two lines. B and C. So we have A, B, C, and D. So what had happened? So this excitement happens when there is a heart-to-heart connection with someone. And then when you even hear of that person or hear what is happening, is that now they have come to know a possibility to see that person. Okay. And their situation is just completely like goes out of control. So some other ways to say out of control or goes crazy, completely crazy or maddened. They became completely maddened. So, I don't know. I mean, long back, I have seen some YouTube videos or something like, I used to be long back fan of Michael Jackson. So there's some videos where, people in the front, he would call someone on the stage. And that person would go just completely crazy. Oh my God, like Michael Jackson has called me on the stage, or I can actually go touch him. They're like, probably 50 feet away from him. Even the people on the front of the stage, right? Or in the front of the crowd. And you should see their expressions as if like they have reached like swarga or something like they will come, or even in cricket, as the if they are able to just even touch their favorite player, Tendulkar or whoever, or they just, or Maradona, like, you just go touch, these are the players of my time. These days it is Messi or whoever. Just that, to be able to just go within 2 feet near him, the police will come and catch you and, take you away. I hope I'm conveying that excitement, that complete sense of craziness, that as if the whole life I have been living is for this moment. That is the meaning of Jata Sambhrama. So, and that also doesn't do justice. How does that happen? If you take me to Michael Jackson today, I will feel nothing. It will be just the most boring experience. I probably wouldn't even go. Or, hmm? Yeah, he passed away. He died. So anyway, or whoever, Tendulkar, he's still alive. So that connection from the heart should be there. And that comes, how it comes is described in these two lines. So, nityam tad darshana utsukaha tad katha kshipta manaso. So, we'll again read it in this order. By his katha akshipta manaso, that in their minds they were so attached, akshipta, to Krishna due to his katha. They were constantly listening to his katha. And due to that, we'll come to now the second line, Nityam tad darshana utsukah. That they were always just like waiting for the day, utsuk, with utsukta, with extreme eagerness, to one day be able to come close to him, to one day be able to go see him. And Krishna is not going around doing concerts, or he's not going around playing matches where audience is invited, where they could go and, it's just like they're just sitting and they are just the wives. They don't get to go out much. It's not in the culture. And the Brahmanas, as you know, have no interest in Krishna, even though they are the Vedavadas. They know the Vedas and they know everything. They have no interest in seeing Krishna. So they were just hoping that, or whatever was going on in their mind, that one day how we can just see Krishna. And they were so attached, or so in their hearts, there was absolutely nothing but Krishna. So you should understand I hope that the meaning is, or this whole bhava is coming out, that how they were attached, or how strongly they were interested in seeing Krishna, and there was no possibility ever, uh, to do that, and suddenly this opportunity out of the blue comes up. So that is the meaning of this last line, that babhuvur jata sambrama. So when that opportunity came, they went out of control. They went completely crazy. So that should be understood. Another point which will come up in the verse number 20, and I want to elaborate on it in verse 20. We are still on 18, but the point is that katha akshipta, that by hearing the katha, that's all that they had, they became so attached to Krishna. And that is a very powerful message for us, that we can also do that. They did not have anything, or they did not have access to anything more or beyond what we have access to. In fact, today we have more access to his katha, arguably, than they had. So we are also, if one says we are not so fortunate, we don't have this or we don't have that, they did not have any, they could not associate with, some guru. It was not customary for the wives to have a guru or go into some gatherings of men where the katha is going on. All this was not there. So again, just putting it in perspective, they had access to something very little. How they made the maximum use of the little they had and developed such strong attachment. So saying that today we don't have enough access, we do not have Krishna Katha, we do not have this, da 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 da, is all a excuse. So we should try to make the most, like this, when life throws a lemon, make a lemonade. So we have to, that's our job. We somehow or the other, we simply must. We cannot blame that we are in Kali Yuga, this and that. Okay, so we go to 19. Today I have to end a little early. We will see how far we can go, but we'll see. So then what happened? Okay, we'll read the translation. Yes, let's see. Shalu Mataji, could you please read? I'll first go through all those who have their camera, and then next afterwards.
The wives of the Brahmanas were always eager to see Krishna, for their minds had been enchanted by descriptions of him. Thus, as soon as they heard that he had come, they became very excited. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks. Next, 19. Chaturvidham bahugunam annamadaya bhajanaihi abhisasruh priyam sarvah samudram iva nimnagah. Samudram iva nimnagah. So let us see. So chatur vidham bahu gunam. So again, these are verses. So in a versified form, anushtup. So basically, wait a minute. Yeah. So the words have to be rearranged. Okay. So chatur vidham annam. 4 types of anna or food. Bahu gunam, with lots of qualities, we can say, or lots of taste. So very tasty. Bahu gun. Annam. Annamadaya bhajanaihi. So they carried it. Adaya bhajanaihi. They carried it. We have to move this up. they carried adaya bhajanaihi, means the translation is given as very big containers, not small ones. So big containers, because for Krishna and all the Gopas, if you remember in the 17th verse, they had told that some food should be given for him and his companions. So please give for sa anugasya, means for him, as well as sa Ramo. So Krishna is here, Balaram is here, and his friends are also here. So please give food for all of them. So big containers, and plus lots of type of food, lots of types of food. And all of them, sarvah, none of the wives remained. Everyone, abhisaruhu or abhisasruhu, means they ran towards their Priya Krishna. So carrying these big containers of very tasty food of 4 types, we will see what those 4 types are. All of them, they ran towards Krishna. And an analogy is given, samudram eva nimnagah. Nimnagah means the one that goes down, flows down. Nimnagah, literally it means flows down or river. So how the rivers flow towards the ocean, especially in rainy season. Have you seen river flowing in rainy season? You should not step into a river in the rainy season. You will get flown away. So with how much speed this last fall we were in Haridwar, and it was just after the rainy season. Oh my God, the Ganges, the Ganga was like flowing like crazy. We just wanted to touch the Ganga and put some water in our head. And local people, they were warning us, don't go even near. I said, I'm just going to. They said that this Ganga is so fast, within 1 minute, it will the water will increase like crazy. You won't even have time to come out. It is like so fierce. So how they ran towards Krishna, just like a very eager, somebody who's completely gone crazy. So this is the mood that is being shown here. So let us see some more things here. That there are these, first of all, very tasty bahu gunam. Very, they had, now arguably you can say that they made it already for the yajna. So they didn't make it with the consciousness to offer it to Krishna. Their consciousness, that's at the surface of it. One understanding can be, among everything that had been made for the yajna, they picked the best items. Okay? And that they carried along with them. So that could be one understanding. But still, what they carried was extremely delicious food. And then Chaturvidham. What are these 4 types of food? Who can tell?
Eatable, drinkable, suckable.
Okay. Eat, drink, suck.
And one more.
Prabhuji, food that is chewed,
Chutney
sucked,
type.
licked and
Chutney
swallowed.
type. Chutney.
Okay. Yes, Shamlila Mataji, what are you saying?
Food that is chewed, sucked, licked and swallowed.
Chewed, sucked, licked, and swallowed. So yes, that is the correct thing. Okay. Now, actually, there are 6 types. The 4 main are these. Okay. So eat is kind of common. Everything is called eat. Okay. So eat is not really a category. What is the one that I deleted? Swallowed, yeah. Okay. Now there are two more types, 1, 2, 3, and 4. One that is drunk, like Prabhuji said, 4, 5. And one that is, you can say bitten or cracked. Okay. These are the two more types. So the Sanskrit names are very nice. They all start with, most of them, they start with cha. Okay. So one is called as chavya. So that what is chewed, chavya. I'll put it in green color, chavya. Okay. Then swallowed. There is no name with chavya. This is known as bhakshya. Sucked is chooshya, chooshya. And licked is choshya. So, sorry. Sucked is chooshya and licked is choshya. I'm getting confused now. I didn't write this down. So, yeah, chooshya, suck, and choshya is licked. Another more sort of meaning is lay here. It's for choshya, yeah. So lay here. So, what are some examples? And then drunk is pyeya, to be drunk, and this one is khaadya. Now, khaadya technically means eaten, but that is the meaning that is given. Some examples. So what is the difference? Now, drunk, it is clear. Milk, of course, water is there. Milk, juices, things like that, right? So what is the difference between all of these? So chewed, what is the difference between chewed and swallowed? And this is not directly related to the Bhagavatam or this point, but just to give you an understanding of the kinds of food. So chewed means something that is soft chewable. Okay, soft chewable could be like rice. Now you're not just supposed to swallow rice, isn't it? Unless it is like completely like swallowable. It has been cooked so much in a pressure cooker, like a khichdi. The khichdi, which is also like very much like a paste, or you can think of like oatmeal today. So that would be something that you can just swallow. There's no need to chew it because it's already like chewed, so to say. So that is the difference between chavya and bhakshya. Chavya is also known as bhojya. Bhojya or chavya, and then bhakshya. And then sucked, chooshya is like honey. You have to lick it, or no, that's not correct. Yeah, that's the other one. I'm getting confused. So this licked is like honey. And then chooshya is like something that you have to suck out the juice from it. In a place where I come from, which is Lucknow, there is something called chuswa aam. How many of you have had chuswa aam? So yeah, you have to literally like suck it. Yeah. What is Mansi Ganga Mataji saying? Halwa, which will be swallowing. Yeah, halwa is also swallowing. Yes. So no, lehya is not swallowed. I remember this from somewhere. Lehya is more that you have to like lick it, or with your hands, you somehow do like that. I have seen, when thick sambar is left on the plate and it's so tasty, you have to just swipe it off like this. You don't want to leave even one drop in the plate. Okay. So yeah, chuswa aam, you have to like keep squeezing it and keep sucking it, or sugar cane. You don't do that, but at least you bite it, you keep it in your mouth, and then in your mouth you are sucking. Through the teeth you are crushing, and then you are sucking the juice. You have to make this special. So anyway, so these are the, and then bitten or cracked is for more hard things like nuts or something that has to be bitten very strongly, maybe like a very raw apple. You have to bite it hard, or a carrot. You have to bite into it, and then you have to do very strong chewing. So nuts or very raw, hard fruits like that. So these are the 6 categories. Now, why I explained this, you might think, yeah, 15.14 also talks about the 4 types. Yes, that is correct. Mataji is pointing out, and in the commentary, Srila Prabhupada has given the English ones. I don't think the Sanskrit names are there. So yeah, that's where I had remembered to reading this. So why only 4 are mentioned? Why not 6? So this is a very nice point that Jiva Goswami ji brings out. Any thoughts on why not these 2? Why these 2 are not mentioned? Didn't the wives want to offer all 6 types? So again, this is just a sweet understanding. It has no this direct. It's not like it was exactly like this, but it's just a sweet way to understand. So any thoughts? Let's deal with drunk. So liquids or juices, or what else could be in that? Milk, why not? Very dear to Krishna, milk. Buttermilk. Yes, anyone?
Prabhuji, they might have thought that it would spill because they wanted to run very fast and go. And also Krishna was with the cows, so he would have milk.
Okay. Yes, anyone else?
We thought
thought-
it is breakfast item, not lunch.
Okay. No, I would say juices are lunch item.
I think they thought that he is very hungry, so these are kind of not good enough for now.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
If he has that, he will not eat enough.
Okay. Okay. So 2 understandings are given. Okay. First is a more theoretical understanding, more Ayurvedic understanding, that when you are hungry, you should not drink, for the reason, like you said, that it will, not provide especially water. Okay, there's no mention about milk or juices, which are rich in nutrients, proteins and carbohydrates or whatever. But water fills up your stomach, and it doesn't nourish it doesn't provide any proteins, carbohydrates. Of course, I mean, basically it doesn't provide nourishment, but your stomach becomes full. So that is the reason, at least for water. But the reason given by Sri Jiva Goswami is like, one of the devotees, I think Shamlila Mataji, mentioned that they wanted to run fast. Imagine, you have to run with some cooked rice in a pot in one hand and run fast. We do that for home programs, getting late. And if there is a liquid, you have to literally walk slowly because it will spill if you run. So they did not want that, and then they left the liquids behind because they wanted to run. So there is a trade-off. Of course, they could have run fastest without any food. So it's a trade-off, what you carry and what you leave. So that was, now comes the other one. Why not this other one? And assuming that it is like nuts and very hard raw fruits. Why this will not spill? So why not this? No problem in carrying this.
Worried about his teeth.
Teeth, okay.
being
Soft. Okay, my wife is saying the mood is about being soft.
The chewing takes time.
Huh?
Chewing takes time.
To eat takes time, yeah. So yeah, that is the reason that is given that, you know, I don't know, my wife may get mad at me, but for saying this, but sometimes when I tell her I'm feeling hungry, and what actually it's from today, you can see here, I have a little pack of nuts here. So I'm feeling so hungry. She will say, I'll get you something. And then she comes up with just some nuts. And I'm feeling like, oh, I wanted some sweets and some nice things, and all I get is nuts. So that is the thinking, that when your loved one is very, very hungry, no point in feeding nuts. Then you should feed halwa, puri, chapati, all the nice things which are very filling and which can quickly fill you. You get the satisfaction very soon. Nuts, you don't get satisfaction very soon. So you can see the mood of the wives of the Brahmanas. Apparently they thought about all these things and they ran to Krishna with all these 4 types of food. Yeah. Okay. So now comes a very, very morning arti. Why don't you say loudly?
In the morning arti also, the 4th paragraph is Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavad Prasada.
Yes.
The spiritual master offers 4 types of foodstuffs to Bhagwan.
Yes. So probably that was composed by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, but probably it comes from here. I don't know. But here directly there is reference to Chatur Vidham. Okay, we'll go to the next one. I'll break it up into 20 and 21 separately. We'll discuss these 2 verses separately, okay? So this is the division. Okay, let's read the translation of the previous one. So let us see. Yes, Makarand Prabhu, could you kindly read?
Shri Krishna. Taking along in large vessels the 4 kind of foods, full of fine tastes and aromas, all the ladies went forth to meet their beloved, just as rivers flow toward the sea.
Yeah, very good. So now a little bit of heavy verse comes. This is also like a perfect setup, this one, for showing the opposite mood. These are the ups and downs, the Sanchari Bhavas, how you go up and down. So you can see here how the wives are running toward their beloved. Now think, if you have seen Bollywood, or I'm sure any other movies, what happens? What would be a perfect next thing to happen when a beloved is running towards their beloved, the heroine is running toward the hero? What is the next thing that happens in a movie?
Embrace.
You have not seen enough movies, looks like.
Or somebody stops, like father or someone.
Yes, Mataji has seen movies. Villain. The villain comes, the heroine is running towards the hero, and there's no fun, without a villain. So that's what happens, and not one villain, many villains. So that is again, that's the funny side, but there's a very deep aspect here as well. So 20th verse. निषिध्यमानाः पतिभिर् भ्रातृभिर्बन्धुभिः सुतैः भगवत्युत्तमः श्लोके दीर्घश्रुतधृताशयाः. So, very, very important verse. So, please mark this as a very important verse. Okay, 20th verse. So, nishidhyamanah, this is a very, very important, not important, but significant word, which means that it is composed of two words, though it is not broken up. Nishidha, I'll just write it in the simple way. Nishidha plus amana. Amana. So nishidha, okay, like we say, vidhi nishidha or vidhi nishedha means the do's and the don'ts. So nishidha means don't, which means on being stopped or on being forbidden. Amana, they ignored, they did not agree. They declined or rejected, anything you can say, declined, rejected. So on being stopped, we'll see by whom, but on being stopped, they didn't stop. That is the meaning. Nishidha amana. By patibhir, their husbands. Bhratribhir, their, you can think of it like relatives or brothers. So it was like supposedly a big joint family living together. Bandhubihi, you can think of like friends. These are the male friends because all the females, they went. Male friends or relatives. And sutaihi, even the children. Who is left? Everybody is covered. And also it is said, sutaihi comes last. How many of you have read Julius Caesar? Again, this is another point that comes. So when people are stabbing Julius Caesar, you remember, I don't know if you have read, who is the last one to stab? Do you remember? Anybody?
Thou too, Brutus.
Yeah. Et tu brute, he says. And what is the next line he says after that? Very famous. Yeah, then falls Caesar. So till then, Caesar was resisting. But when he says that, my best friend, Brutus, even he stabs me, then what is left in this world? Nothing. Then I will not resist. Anyway, so the children, among all these, if you think, children are supposed to be the closest to the mother. Okay, they will always agree. And sometimes I have seen that enough when me and my wife, sometimes we also fight. And guess whose side our children take? 90% of the time, they take her side. So they they are, that's natural for children to take side of the mother. And of course, usually the women are almost always right. So anyway, but try to imagine even the children were against the mothers. That is the irony. So all these things you have come through the commentaries. And all this, you have to realize, like, basically you have to see the main point is their whole world abandoned them. That is the main point. That is the key point. Nobody was on their side. Everybody abandoned them. Even their children. So that is why it is in the last. Just like Brutus, his cut was the last. So there is this whole, thing to show. So when you are reciting the verse, the audience, you can think, is listening, and they are counting, okay, husband's gone, chalo, koi baat nahi, no problem. Bhratribhir, okay, fine. Bandhu, okay, fine. Are, even children, are, ab to nobody is left. So in that sequence, when you are going, you are hoping that there is somebody who will take their side. But when the closest person leaves your side, then there is no hope left. So that is the situation of the wives. Okay, so please try to realize many people may have this situation in their lives where they have nobody in their life to support them. Even when they are genuinely innocent, when they are genuinely, they know that usually it is hard to see that I am doing anything wrong. So we are always right. I am always right is true for everyone. But in our heart of hearts, we know that we are being a jerk. So not in those situations, but in genuine situations when you really think that, what wrong did I do? That nobody is on my side. So that was the situation of the Brahman Patnis, but that was not the situation of the Brahman Patnis because there was someone else on their side. Who is there on their side? That is Bhagavati Uttamah Shloke. That is Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna is on their side. They know, and he didn't have to say. These other people tried to physically stop them through words or through their actions. They might have tried to hold them. We will see later, maybe not today. One of them was successfully able to hold his wife back. And what happened to that Brahman Patni, we will see next time. So all but one was, they were able to go. So there was some physical constraint also. Maybe they held back, they closed the door, whatever happened, we don't know. But so the physical was also there, verbal was also there, both were there. But they knew in their heart, that is the point. The conviction was there. It's not like, let's go to Krishna, maybe he will be on my side. That was not the point. They knew that conviction was there. 100% conviction was there. Why it was there? And this line is the most important line. Dirgha. Dirgha Shruta Dhritashayah. Dhrita Ashayah. So Dhrita means very strong. Dhriti means very strong conviction. Look up in Bhagavad Gita chapter 13, the word Dhriti is there. Means strong conviction. Their asha to see Krishna, that when they see Krishna, they will be united. They will be like completely happy. None of this matters. None of this rejection of this material world that they got from their closest people in their life. And you can see they invested their whole life in these people. What else do Brahman Patnis do? They were in the Patni Shala, it was written. They didn't even go out, unlike today's Matajis who go for a job. Even if their husband divorces or whatever, you have a backup financially and socially. There is a backup, out there. None of it was available to the Brahman Patnis. None of it. None of it was available to the Brahman Patnis. But still they had this very, very, very strong conviction. And how? That is the most important part of this verse. This one. Dirgha Shruta. What is Dirgha Shruta means? Hearing. Shruta. Dirgha, for a long time. There is very important lesson here. Very, very important lesson here. That by hearing about Krishna for a long time, they were able to develop this complete faith on Krishna that nothing in the world could shake them. The biggest misery, I would say that for these women, this rejection by their closest friends, family, people is worse than death. Tell me if you would disagree with this. If this happens in somebody's life today, that you invest your complete life in a group of people and they all reject you, I claim that that would be a very strong case for somebody to commit suicide. Not only that death, is worse, you welcome death, which means that you feel the pain of death is lesser than the pain you are going through. So you welcome death. That is because they have not seen or they have not realized that there is a higher pleasure. They think that death will give me pleasure. It's better than this pain. Lesser pain is called pleasure. So death has lesser pain. I will choose death. But there is the highest pleasure, which is Bhagavati Uttamah Shloki. That Lord Krishna who is described by the choicest poetry or by the topmost shlokas. So Bhagavati Uttama Shloki is another word for Krishna. And we can also develop, again the same message is coming, that simply by hearing, and here a clue is given, dirgha. Don't say, oh, I read Krishna book, or for 6 months I have been hearing, and this, why I don't get that dhrita ashaya. So yesterday in Bhagavad Gita class toward the end, if you didn't hear, I invite you to go listen to that last, 20-25 minute section. And what is the meaning of hearing about Krishna? So in summary, it also means that to not hear about topics that would dilute our Krishna consciousness. So if we hear about Krishna, we develop conviction, dhrita asha. That is what we develop. And then we go and hear other things. Now, I'm not talking about other things for bodily maintenance. You have to go and do your work. Your child says, I want food, so you make food. You do daily chores. That's not the point. The things that take you away from Krishna consciousness, or the things that shake or impact your faith, or the things that make you feel that this will give me some happiness. This is an alternate option for my happiness. Anything like that that we invest our time or our consciousness in is depleting. We put a lot of investment we put in the bank of Krishna consciousness. Such talks that we hear or such experiences that we go through take out from that bank account. So our bank account goes back down. So that is Shravana and Ashravana. We undo the good Shravana that we have done. So you have to keep investing in the account positively, not keep withdrawing. And that too, dirgha, for a long enough time. And then you will be, that's what Shastra is saying, you will definitely also get that conviction like Brahman Patnis. So if you would like, how many of you would like this kind of conviction about Krishna? We spent so much time, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years in Krishna consciousness. So better to, while we are spending that much time, better do it properly. And, yesterday we were saying that, kya tha wo? First and foremost priority of Krishna consciousness is to become Krishna conscious. Don't forget why you came here. Most people come into Krishna consciousness with a very, very, very solid and noble agenda to become Krishna conscious, to become, to really develop that Krishna prem. And along the way, somehow the goal changes or they get misled and get into some all kind of activities without the bhava. And that takes away, one thinks I am doing Krishna consciousness, but the progress, that bhajan, takes a back seat. What's that? Aaye the Hari bhajan ko kotan lage kapas. So back to material world. So that's not the kind of dirgha shruta. So this verse is, at least a lot of meaning is there in this verse. And it also proves that it is possible for us. If it is possible for them, it is possible for us. We have to just do it properly. Very important, two things: properly and for long time. Same thing as Rupa Goswami says. What is it? Anudinam and adarad. Adarad means properly, with lot of other literally means with respect, but it means with proper consciousness, with adar. And anudinam, though it means daily, it means regularly. Whatever is your regular definition. Do it for a long time and you will 100% develop. That is what Shastra is saying. The topmost Shastra is saying. Yeah. So very, very important verse. And then no material attachments. Look at here the magnitude of material attachments that were trying to stop them. Who knows what all was said? It is not written in Bhagavatam. Ācāryas have not also written what was said. Husbands might have told, Agar pair nikala, then you cannot come back. Be careful before taking the next step. We will permanently close the door. It's one way. They might have given all those warnings. You will see later the Brahman Patnis say we have nowhere back to go. Maybe it's because the husband's told, if you go, that's it. Don't come back. Forget us. Either you have to choose us or Krishna. Maybe their children also said the same thing. Who knows? But they were able to give it all up. Just give it up. And they didn't have time. You can see how they ran. It's not like they went into some discussion, should we not? Half of them went, half of them stayed back. Those who were weak in their faith. No, all of them went. So you have to read it, therefore, slowly. Imagine in your mind, it's okay, if you have spent enough time reading Bhagavatam, and that is why reading the first 9 cantos is important. Then you can sit and imagine what might have happened. Try to churn what goes on. In here it is described in one verse, and you've gone off to the next verse. Sit, be here, and try to imagine, oh my God, if you were the director of a movie or a play. That is why Srila Prabhupada and even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to say that we must do plays. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would love enactment of Krishna's pastimes to be done like a play. Why? Mainly for the director or the playwright, the script writer. You have to show this whole thing cannot be just done in like 2 seconds. You have to construct dialogues. What is happening? You have to bring out the emotion, and you have to write down script. How the husbands are trying to stop, and they will write, oh, they held the hand and there was crying and all this was happening, like a villain, in a movie. Like I said, the heroine is running, the villain, these are the intense scenes. So in your mind, try to play these out to build that conviction in your heart that, how much suffering they had to go through and what all they had to give up, or they didn't treat it like suffering. The suffering was there. We see it as suffering. Oh, my whole family has abandoned me. But you see that their conviction is so strong and you get inspired by that. And even the secret is given how they built that conviction. The secret is given right here. Dirgha Shruta. What else we need in our life? So therefore, sit back, think, churn, and keep your realizations in your heart, and then try to act on it. If the realization is strong, act on it. Act on it. Yeah. Yeah, and it also means sometimes, the family is against Krishna consciousness. There is a lot of opposition in the house. So again, I'm not saying one should leave the family like the Brahman Patnis. One should first develop that adhikar. Don't try to imitate. Oh, they left, so I will leave. They had that strong conviction. So wait for that strong conviction to develop first before you try to, take a big step, if you have to. So that's another point. Yes, I think some devotees had raised their hand and then I kept talking, so I was waiting to finish my line of thought. Any comments? Shamlila Mataji, I saw you had raised your hand.
Yes, Prabhuji, I had a question. I think I'm trying to frame it well. So, like some of us, when we come to Krishna consciousness or we come to devotion, especially in our adult life, we come because we are under distress or duress or whatever. And then as we start doing bhajan, we experience a little bit
It's
of
not
that cliff.
duress. Duress means somebody is forcing
I
you.
mean, not duress, but
Yeah,
just
suffering.
right.
Mhm.
So, and then when we start doing bhajan, we see like things turning around, or that kleshagni sort of making its way in.
Mhm.
And then uh, things become okay. And then sometimes that sense of urgency jo thi when we were suffering, na, वो sense of urgency sometimes जब things अच्छी हो जाती है, the sense of urgency becomes like,
Both way.
yeah, you still are very interested and you love doing some limb.
Believe. No, you may be you, and whoever you are calling the you is, let me tell you, is a minority. Anyway, keep going. There are
So then
many, when it gets fixed, then they forget. Or one way of forgetting is to become dilute in your bhajan. That's, it's better than completely leaving. But yes, it is almost you have left. At least mentally you are gone. Anyway, keep going. So,
right, so that sense of urgency somehow kind of jitna suffering mein jitna, like, there's that,
intensity.
yeah, or just like that burning is there, no, that I'm
Mm.
trying to frame it and I don't know if I'm framing it well.
No,
So
it's
how do you kind of cling on to the sense of urgency or that intensity, especially because you've seen the awesome effects of bhakti play out in your own life?
very true. And I fully know that you know the answer, knowing you a little bit. But let me just anyway share my thoughts. That first answer is given right on this page. This is the answer. Not only it gives the strong faith and conviction, it also gives the sense of urgency. How? Let me share at least what I have realized. The Shastra will tell you, even though bhakti is very straightforward, it is easy. Right after Kleshagni, what is the third quality of bhakti, Mataji?
Rishagni Shubhada Muksha Laguta Krit
Sorry, fourth.
Sudurlabha.
Sudurlabha. It's not easy to complete bhakti within one life. So, and here also right in this verse, very few verses are like this. Many verses you will find which will glorify Shravanam or Shruta, just like this one. Just like 2 verses ago, we read that again, here it was there, Tat Katha Kshipta Manaso. Just by listening to the Katha, their mind was attached. It's not mentioned how long you had to listen. Here you get a sense. Directly there is a word, Dirgha. Now you can think, oh, Dirgha means 2 years. Are abhi to I am 35, I am 20, I am X. Are abhi to 40 years bache hain. Dirgha means 2 years. So I have plenty of 2-year buckets in my life. Abhi aage we'll do it later. No. So Dirgha is given, but the number is not given. Number is, I don't know, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. I don't have that kind of time. I don't. I'm 50. I don't have that kind of time at all. I don't even think I can, do 1% that is ahead of me in this life. Maybe it takes 2000 years. Maybe I have 10 more years left if I don't die in the next 10 minutes. So I think that sense of urgency comes from there. And the second part also I would like to say is that the driving force, Chaturvidha Bhajante Mam. You are asking a very pertinent question to the Bhagavad Gita discussion. Okay, which is Artha, not even Artharthi. Artha is the
Distressed.
biggest one among the 4, biggest. The intensity is highest actually, because he's suffering. Artha means he really wants to get rid of the suffering. And so the impetus is the highest. I will share it in the slides. लात हिंदी में बोल रहा हूं मैं. लात जो है ना, सबसे कस के जो है वो अर्थ में पड़ती है. अर्थार्थी, जिज्ञासु और ज्ञानी में उतना वो नहीं पड़ती लात. जितनी कस के जो है लात पड़ती है वो अर्थ में. सो द इंटेंसिटी, द वेलोसिटी और वॉट एवर with which you hit the ball is the maximum in artha. But as soon as that goes away, it fizzles down. So the point is, if you have not properly used that intensity, that window of intensity to develop the ruchi for katha, try to develop the ruchi for the katha. Then you don't have to worry about even urgency. And this is classic discussion of raga. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in the beginning, when Rupa Goswami is describing raga versus vaidhi as 2 branches of sadhana bhakti, sadhan bhakti, the example he gives is that of a materialist. Nobody has to tell a materialist to be urgent in enjoying sense enjoyment, isn't it?
Yes.
हैं भाई? Sense enjoyer को कभी बोलना पड़ता है क्या? You must enjoy more. You are not enjoying enough. He is going full speed as much as he possibly can because of the rag. So once the rag develops, the question of urgency is not even present. Are you following?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So this question of urgency is non-existent in that case.
Right.
Right? So that is why Rag Bhakti is so much glorified. The taste. What is Rag? Rag is taste. So these are a couple of points that one must buy. I don't know about many. There are these 5 primary limbs, but at least in studying Shastra, especially Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and some of the other related Shastras, which are connected to Bhagavatam, like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is nothing but Bhagavatam. and so on. So Bhagavatam study has immense potential for developing the taste. And do it long enough, do it with interest, and most importantly from yesterday's discussion, don't let anything sap it or diminish that interest that you have developed through alternate conversations. Protect it and continue to do it long enough, dirgha shruta. So I hope that provides some of my thoughts. If other devotees have more thoughts, I see several devotees here who are very, very dedicated. Please share for my benefit.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Anybody wants to say anything?
So once this rag is developed, I feel that kleshagni-like things become a byproduct.
Yes.
So they are no more the prime
By
focus.
product, because klesha, it's not that it is agni, means it is extinguished. Klesha disappears itself. तो extinguish क्या करना है? कुछ नहीं करना है. Yeah. Anything else? Bhagirath Prabhu, did you want to say something?
No, Prabhu. You already covered that. So.
Anything else? Yeah, very important point. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So basically, at that point, the process will become the destination, and then that sense of urgency will kind of disappear altogether.
Or the sense of urgency will be inherent, just
Right.
like gratifier. That's the perfect example of raga. There is, to understand what is raga, it's not hard because we all have been ragis. I have been the biggest ragi of sense enjoyment. So nobody has to tell me how to do it, how much to do it. I would be willing to do it like as much as my body can take.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Makaran Prabhuji, also for adding that important point.
Okay. So why don't you read this translation?
Ji, Prabhuji.
Till here, then it is the next verse translation.
Ji. Although their husbands, brothers, sons, and other relatives tried to forbid them from going, their hope of seeing Krishna, cultivated by extensive hearing of his transcendental qualities, won out.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. Another point, actually, on this verse is brought out by Sri Jiva Goswami. What was their real intent? To see Krishna or to satisfy his hunger? What do you think?
Krishna Sokhyartam.
Okay.
Because if they only wanted to just satisfy his hunger, I mean, if they wanted to do that seva for him, I don't know.
How do you know that? From this pastime, yes, from theory, we can say. But the pastime is also teaching us. Let's say you did not know the theory, but you learn from the pastimes, from Krishna katha. Again, this is all the churning, and you have to apply the logic. So yes, answer is that they wanted to see Krishna or be with Krishna more than they wanted to satisfy his hunger, because the Gopals said, give us the food, right? The main purpose of them to come even here to the Brahmanas or Brahman Patnis was to get the food. So how do we know that that was not the wife's main purpose from the pastime? Anyone? So Shri Jiv Goswami says that if that was the intention, they could have given those pots and pans to the Gopas and say, here's food, please take it to Krishna and feed him as much as you want and bring it back, or leave it there. We will come tomorrow and pick up the containers, isn't it? That would have been fair solution, isn't it? Yes, no? And that would also count as seva. We call it behind the scenes seva, right? It is actually appreciated if you do it in behind the scenes. But this shows, because they ran and all this conversation might have happened. Maybe the husbands might have told them, Arey, if you want food, and they knew that food was the main thing because they came first to the Brahmanas. So the Brahmanas knew what's the background context. They could have said, Arey, why don't you give them the food? Why you have to go? They might have said that. The Brahman Patni said, no way. We are going. We want to see him. We didn't know how to go there, to go to Vrindavan. You would never allow us. And right now he is so close. He's right here. Aduram, one of the words in the previous verse. Adu is so close. I have to go. I just have to go. It's like Michael Jackson has come to your town. Okay, material example, but still. So this shows that their main intent was to go there, and it's very logical, very logical. Yes, you send the food. The Gopas are very strong. They can carry. There are so many of them. They will carry. No problem. Okay. So that also we understand from this pastime, that the main intention was their desire to be with Krishna, to see him, to relish his this meeting with Krishna. Food was just a side thing. All right, next verse. So it's also here. So we will, how do we add page? Okay. So this is the separation. Now next verse. Yamuno pavane shokaha navapallava mandite vicharantavritam gopai sagrajam didrishuh striyaha. So Yamuna upavane. So on the banks of the Yamuna river, Yamuna upavan. Upavan means like the Yamuna river and a small garden, upavan, of Ashoka trees. Ashok trees. I don't know if you have seen the place where I come from in Lucknow. There were many Ashoka trees there. So Ashoka tree is very beautiful, lot of shade and all that. But the main purpose of Ashoka, again, it's being used here to signify that Ashoka, that Krishna is the one. The tree was not the one providing shelter to Krishna. Krishna is the source of all Ashoka. He is the remover of all miseries. So the Ashoka trees are gaining their energy from Krishna to remove all shoka, to remove all miseries, all sufferings from everyone's heart. So the Ashoka trees are signifying that characteristic of Sri Krishna, that on seeing Krishna, all miseries go away. And Nava Pallava Mandite, that he was decorated with Nava Pallava, with fresh flower buds. Vicharanta Vritam Gopaihi, and he was surrounded by, or Gopas, Vritam Gopai, and Vicharantam. Vicharantam means char rahe the. He was just wandering around with his friends, Gopas. And now comes some important points. Sorry, not this way, but this way to connect. Sa Agraj. Who is the Sa Agraj? Along with his Agraj or elder brother, Balaramji. They saw the Drishu. Who saw? The Striyas, the wives. So the wives saw Krishna in this situation from far away. Or the first three lines are trying to show Krishna before the wives arrived. Okay, so think about it in your mind, play it in your mind. The wives are running towards Krishna, and this is, on the other hand, the scene changes and you see Krishna just wandering around, taking a stroll with his Gopa friends along the Yamuna. Okay? And the wives are running, and when they reach, this is what they are going to see. So, when the wives are running, there is a bhava with which they are running. Anybody can say what that could be? Again, it's maybe hard, but they are running toward Krishna with a what bhava? We studied it in Bhava Bhakti. The 9 characteristics of Bhava Bhakti. Does it ring a bell in anybody's mind?
Utkantha.
Very good. Utkantha. So Sridhar Swami points out, this is such a classic textbook example of Utkantha. Utkantha means you are sure you will see Krishna. You are sure you will get the outcome, but you don't know the details. So they are running because they have been told by the Gopas, Krishna is nearby. And they are in fact leading the way. The Gopas are also with them. So there is no doubt in their mind that they are going to see Krishna soon. But they don't know the details. What form, what dress Krishna will be wearing, red, yellow, green, blue, pink, white, whatever it may be. What all the details, whether he'll be sitting, whether he'll be standing, which friends will be there, and all this is going, that is called Utkantha. And they're trying to imagine, how am I going to see Krishna? Which one, this, that, all those things. And they are running with all these thoughts in their mind, and therefore the scene changes to show that here is what Krishna is actually doing, and the wives arrive. The Striya arrive, and of course, again, he is also with. So this is what Krishna is doing in the verse. Except for the last word, everything is describing what Krishna is doing. He's under the Ashoka trees and with this, decorated with all these flowers, roaming around with his Gopa friends and along with Balramji. So this is classic example of utkantha. In the next verse, it will be described the exact what they see when they actually come face to face. Okay. And another point, this Balramji is a very important point. Why it is mentioned? Why? Of course, one answer is because he's there. So, and Balramji is important enough. You can't like not mention him, right? Any other reason? Again, it may be hard to guess, but I'm just saying what I have read in Sri Jeev Goswami's commentary. Beautiful reason he gives. Again, these are our ācāryas who have just, dig out the nectar or whatever, they squeeze out the nectar. Any thoughts? Yes. Boliye.
Prabhuji, is it because Balramji is Guru Tattva, so Guru will sort of like...
Guru will show the path to Krishna or something.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Good thought. Again, there's no right or, I mean, there could be wrong answers, of course. So it's not that there's no right or wrong answers. That's quite a good possibility. Yes. Anyone else? Any other thoughts? Okay. So Sri Jeev Goswami says that along with Balramji, he is there. So Balramji, imagine Balramji, okay? He's not some ordinary person. He's Sankarshan. And he is exceptionally beautiful already. Okay? But when you see together Krishna and Balram, Krishna is more beautiful. And the beauty of Krishna is further enhanced because of the presence of a already very beautiful person next to him. So it is the way to show the beauty of Krishna in an even more increased way. Just like one option is you have a diamond. Another option is you put that diamond in a gold ring made of pure gold. Which one brings out the diamond? I don't know. I have no whatever appreciation for these jewelries. Maybe all the ladies, Matajis, can tell better. Which one is better? So it is said that the diamond shines better when it is put in gold, in a golden ornament. Then the beauty of the diamond, you get the point. So Balramji is there already, with so much beauty, and then one begins to really appreciate the beauty of Sri Krishna. So that is one of the points made by Sri Jeev Goswami. All right. Okay, let us see. Meera Mataji, could you kindly read this translation?
Along the river Yamuna, within a garden decorated with buds of Ashoka trees, they caught sight of him strolling along in the company of the cowherd boys and his elder brother Balarama. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so here comes a beautiful verse. I'm wondering whether we should go into it or do it next time. We didn't cover much today. 18, 19, 20, 4 verses only. Let me see how many notes I have. Oh, I have a lot of notes on this. And it is 6:35. Okay, let's do it if chalega. Karne verse. Okay. So this verse is describing Krishna's beauty. And this is in which meter? Anybody? Quickly.
Brahma Samhita's meet.
It is called?
Vasanta Tilakam.
Yes. Vasanta Tilakam. Okay. 14 syllables. And let us sing. Okay. So I know only one tune. There are multiple tunes to sing for every meter, but I only know one. Karogi tum? Shyamam hiranya paridhim vanamalya barha dhatu praval nataveshamanavrasante vatanse vinyastya hastamitarena dhanana abjam karnotpala kapola mukhabjahasam. Sorry, messed it up. So this is Vasanta Tilakam, Brahma Samhita meter. So Krishna's beauty is being described here so nicely that his body is blackish, shyamam. And then he is wearing a golden garment, Hiranya, golden. Hiranyakashipu, he's called Hiranyakashipu because he used to love gold. So that's a demoniac way, but Hiranya means gold. Paridhim means he's wearing something which is golden garments. And then he's wearing a mala, vanamalya, made of forest flowers. Forest flower garland, vanamala, vanamalya. Barha, he's wearing a peacock. Okay. Peacock feather. Peacock feather. Which other verse has this? Barha.
Barha Pedam Natavarabapu.
Very nice. And Nata is also there. So Natavesham. So he's like a nutter. You know what is a nutter? Nut means a actor or like a stage actor, or you can say a stage performer. Okay, so that is a nut. So natak mein nut hote hain. So he's a nut vesh. It means he has a vesh. Vesh means he has taken on the form of like a stage, which means he is very decorated, you know. I have seen so many young girls do arangetram. On the arangetram day, they look like different. I'm like, who are you? I'm used to seeing you, but this, like that extra decoration and everything just makes you look like a different person. So very like rich, exquisite form, natavesh. And dhatu praval. Dhatu praval. Dhatu means what? Metal or mineral. And pravala means small marks of like flowers. So this is like, you can think of like paint marks. You know, when like I have seen like these dancers, like I have seen few arangetrams, and you know, they have all these nice paint marks, like, you know, with beautifully decorated face or other body parts. And so this is describing, so basically this is showing what the wives actually see. What is a wrong word? Or how Krishna the form of Krishna they actually see. I'm not going to write it for sake of time. So this is the form of Krishna they actually see. Anavrasante vinyasta. So anavasam vrasante vinyasta means that he had his hand on his cowherd boy. So like, friends, on their shoulder. And this one is very nice. Hastam itarena dhunanam abjam. And in his another hand, so imagine one hand is on one of his friend, and with another hand he's like, just playing with a lotus. So like this, he's just playing, like some people, you'll see. I used to do this when I was young with a pencil. You kind of keep playing. Teacher is explaining, and you keep playing with whatever pencil, or you keep chewing the pencil, or just fiddling around with it, basically. So he was just fiddling around with the other hand with a lotus flower. And then Karna Utpala. So Karnotpala, which means there are flowers. Now there are different meanings, whether it's a lotus flower or lily. I have seen both of those. And he has these kundalas, these not earrings. Kya bolenge usko? Kundal, like the ones, not earrings are like round, one that hang from the ear. But there's another English word. One is earring and the other is danglers or whatever. Anyway. Okay. And then he has Alaka Kapola, which means his hair is falling on his cheek. Many Matajis do this. I don't look at Mataji's face much, but I sometimes think some hair is like this, and the rest of the hair is tied behind. I'm like, why couldn't they tie this one also? They leave it like, to fall. So it probably is a, thing of fashion or whatever. It's very clear it could have also been tied, but they choose to leave it. So here also Krishna also does the same thing. So that is known as Alaka Kapola. And Mukhabja Hasam. And very, very like kind of Mona Lisa kind of smile. Not a very broad, but just a small, like it's just barely enough to be called a smile. So you cannot miss the smile. Very, very small, meaningful smile on his face. So that is the description of Sri Krishna. So how many of you, let me ask, got really, really, really moved by this description? As if, now please pay attention and be honest. How many of you got like, wow, I really want to see Krishna today. I will leave my everything just to see this face of Krishna. How many of you? Come on, raise your hand. Makarand Prabhu, really? Okay. Really? Be honest. Maybe, and I'm not trying to judge you. Let me tell you, I did not. Okay. It sounded like a nice description in the Bhagavatam. Many such descriptions are there. Varaha Piram Natavara Vapu, another one. For me, it is, I tried to explain, and also I read it few weeks back when I was preparing my notes. I revised my notes today before the class so I can give today's quote-unquote speech and all those things. So I tried to do my best to say it in a nice way, but I don't feel my heart kind of getting moved. Honestly, his complexion was dark blue, his garment was golden, wearing a peacock feather, colored minerals. Sounds like, many places in Bhagavatam, similar description. That's what I'm telling you honestly from my heart. The question is why? If that is also your case, then why is it that such a beautiful description of Krishna doesn't seem to churn our heart? Please think about it. Think about it. And it's something to be contemplated. After the class, maybe tomorrow, next week, think about this question. Okay? So should we stop here, or should we go on and should I share some thoughts on this, or you want to think about it? That's really genuinely a choice that I am leaving to you all.
Think about it.
Okay, anybody else wants to cast their vote? Shamlila Mataji, what is your vote?
Prabhuji, thoda sa, I would also like to think about it, but the verse is so beautiful that I'm sort of conflicted in.
Okay.
Like there'd be so much nectar. And I already have a question about it.
Okay, anybody else wants to cast their vote? Okay, there are a few other things that I want to bring up, which are not related to this question. So we must think why, because this is very important. And so let's take it up next time. Okay. Let me mention some other points, and then we'll take your question, and then we will end for today. So a couple of points. Okay. So one point is about, let's start with the simpler ones. Baraha, peacock feather. So I have not written which commentary, but Baraha is a peacock feather. And you imagine it's not possible, or let me ask, no, it is possible. How could you, if I give you a peacock feather, how can it stay in your head? What are the possible ways? Very nice. So one possibility, and one of the ācāryas, either Jiva Goswami, Shri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, or others, that so they give a possibility. It's not possible to just put a peacock feather in the hair. It will fall. So either they had made the hair of Krishna had long hair, so into a bun, and then stick it in. So just to imagine more, little bit, how Krishna looked. So either he had that bun, and of course the bun will not stay as it is, so you have to put a pagdi. There are no hair clips or any modern things. So you have to little bit use some cloth or something, looks like a pagdi. Another option is, if let's say Krishna does not have long hair, maybe he recently had a haircut, then what will you do? What's the other option? So another option is to make a little crown made of like vanamali. So vanamali doesn't just mean mala on the neck, okay? But it also means a crown made of flowers and leaves. You can stitch it together and kind of stitch or tie the peacock feather in that little crown on Krishna's head. I'm sure if you Google for Krishna's pictures, nice pictures are there on which he is wearing a little crown made of flowers, forest flowers. That brings us to this other point, Vanamalya. It's an important point brought out by Sri Jiva Goswami. And he said that the mala was made of vana flowers, forest flowers. So 2 points he makes. First is that it is made of Vividha Pushpa. Vividha Pushpa, I remember from the commentary, that word is used, means various, just various forest flowers. And also the meaning that is given is that it was not very like professional. So whatever flowers they could get, they made it with that. So the bhava is patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati. Very simple, but with lot of love. With lot of love they made a very simple flower, just the flowers that are available. Okay. The second point that was made is that the length of this garland, anybody imagine what the length was? It
was long, Prabhuji, just like we have seen in so many pictures.
Yeah, long, but how long? So Jiva Goswami says it reached Krishna's feet. That long it was. And it was full of these vanamalis, all the flowers they could find. So that is the characteristic of a good garland. Long and tight. Please remember this. Why I am saying this? Many times, some devotees visit Portland or something, your city, wherever you are, and we have to put a garland in their neck before the class. Sometimes we make such a small garland, it is even hard to get it through the neck. I remember one time the garland was so small, while putting it through the head, it broke. I was trying to push it through the head. They made it so small. And sometimes we just connect the flowers in a loose way. So when the garland is on the table, it looks long, but when you wear it, all the flowers just collect in the bottom and then you see long thread. Because when you lay it flat and you spread out the flowers, there is no gravity acting on it. But the moment you turn it vertical, all the flowers just come down. It's not tight. Tight means packed with flowers. So good quality garland is long and tight. I am not saying this. Jiva Goswami is saying this right in the commentary. It was packed with flowers and it was touching the feet of Krishna. So the garland should not be a necklace. Even somehow you can manage to get it through the head. Sometimes it is only up to here. Looks pretty funny. At least it should be till the navel, nabhi, minimum. If not, little bit lower than that, below. And it should be tight. Means you have to put more flowers. And the main concern is cost. Flowers are costly. So if that cost difference, yes, flowers are costly, better to not volunteer to make a garland than to make a garland which, is like this. Hard to even get it through the head. Or half of it is only string. So that is one very important point. And finally, why was Krishna in Natavesh? Why? Okay, maybe that day he just happened to Maybe they were trying to play a drama or something, so he was like that. Any thoughts?
Prabhuji, maybe the Gopas were trying to dress him.
Okay. Anything else? Again, that's perfectly fine thought. The Gopas always want to see Krishna in nice, new, different, sweet forms. So they will dress him. So our ācāryas say that Krishna had dressed in that way, or he maybe allowed the Gopas or whoever to dress him that way, very sweet, very exquisite, because he knew that Brahman Patnis will come and see me. And he wanted to put his best sort of, vesh. So nat vesh is not like a funny, it's not like a humorous or ridiculous, or it means it was a very beautiful face. He had all this beauty, it's the mark of beauty. Just think of it not like a stage actor or something, but think of it more like arangetram. And where you put the best dress with the best decoration, like a bride or a groom or whatever, typically brides are dressed better than grooms or whatever, all jewelry and all these. What do you put on? उसको क्या लगाते हैं? Put on the face dots. क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Gopi dots. We call them gopi dots. Anyway, you come to Janmashtami for our festival, you will see there'll be a stall, right? Sarva Shakti Mataji, you're there? Yeah. Did you put such a gopi dot stall in your I remember you were doing something.
Yes, Prabhuji, yeah.
So to decorate, the little girls, so Krishna wanted to dress very nicely for the wives. And Sri Jiv Goswami, one of the ācāryas, they say that the understanding is that Krishna was equally eager to see the wives, or more eager to see the wives than they were to see him. So Bhagwan that is his reciprocation. He put his best form or he wore his best form to, because his dear wives of Brahmanas, his dear devotees were coming to see him. It's like your best friend is coming to see you, you will wear a nice dress and, meet him and all that. Right? And then finally, this one. Itarena dhunanam abjam. Hastam itarena dhunana abjam. This one. In his other hand, he was just simply playing with a lotus. And that also has very nice meaning. Actually, some of these, there are all these other, I didn't see, there are more notes that I have. Okay, maybe we'll go for a few more minutes now that we have started this discussion. So he was playing with this lotus. Okay, so he wanted to show the wives that their hearts were lotus-like and how much he's appreciating their soft hearts and he's playing with them. So he could not. This goes to another point, which is anavratanse vinyasta, that he had his hand on one of the gopas. And so both these things, he could not physically embrace the wives, okay, externally or internally. I mean, he could not like embrace them physically. Nowhere in the Bhagavatam in this chapter it is written that he embraced them. So playing with the lotus, Krishna wanted to convey to the wives that he's holding their hearts very close in his hands. And he is He's experiencing the softness of their hearts. The lotus is representing the hearts of the wives of the Brahmanas. And he is the same intensity with which they have offered their hearts to Krishna. Krishna has received their hearts and he's holding their hearts and just playing with it like very sweetly. So that is what that lotus is representing in his heart, in his hand, which he is playing with, so that the wives can understand that. And plus, he has his hand on the gopas as if in embrace of the wives. Because he could not actually openly do it, so he was doing it to show them that I would just think as if I'm embracing you. Even though I'm embracing a gopa, I'm embracing you. So these are some of the meanings given by our ācāryas. And there are a couple of more, but I'll skip them. Yeah. Hasam, that slight smile also. Okay. Yeah, I remember writing it. I can't, probably it's written somewhere else. Okay. So this is the description. So next week homework is to think, if we don't get that intense desire to see this beautiful, if this description of Krishna doesn't churn our heart and make us want to run to him, why? What is missing? So that is the homework. Okay, any questions? Yes. Shamlila Mataji, you thought you had a question, or?
I did, Prabhuji, but you kind of answered it. So I was going to ask you if, like, sometimes we twirl something in our hand if we are restless, कि भाई इतना time हो गया, हुआ नहीं अब तक. So was Krishna restless to see the wives, was my question, but you answered it with the dress.
Yeah, that could be another nice point. Like, one is restless, and like, I remember in my younger school days, I would chew the pencil or something, waiting for the boring class to be over. Many of you may be doing that right now with your camera off. So the point is that, yeah, Krishna was restless to see when will the wives come? When will I? So that reciprocation feeling could be there. Yes, that's a nice thought. I'm just sharing what our ācāryas have written, but that's definitely a sweet thought.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Showing his restlessness. Very nice. Okay. Something else I wanted to say, but forgot. Okay, that's it. Okay. Anything else, anyone? All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your association. Thank you for patiently listening. And thank you for giving me a chance to dive into Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And I'm sorry for, going over and, maybe going a little bit too slow. So if it is, too slow, please send me feedback. I will try to speed up. But on the face of it, I am interested in going deeper and looking at it from all different angles. As much as I have read, I want to share it with you fully, 100%. Every single bullet in the notes that I have, I'm sharing with you. So, yeah. So please let me know. Okay. Granthraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you. It's beautiful, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Thank you.